Hi guys, how are we all doing? Hope everyone's doing well. This is kind of a quick update and a probably not so quick pickups because I haven't done a pickups for a while. Been super busy with obviously the Monkey Island documentary since about July, so other videos have taken a back seat. But I have this week off, so I am completely rearranging the game room. Got some new kit that I'm going to put in, some of which I'll show you today. Got a new TV, which hopefully I can kind of insert some footage of if it's set up in time. But I was out in one of the local towns with a Big Game Al from Planet Retro, and I found a little, it's like a 4x3 little LCD, but it's takes 480p and it's got VGA input and SCART input, so it's perfect for the Dreamcast. So I'm going to have that little TV set up as an additional TV, so that'll be the fourth screen set up in here, so that'll be just purely for Dreamcast, and a couple of other bits of tech. But anyway, some people like Eddie Rollercore have been messaging me that when am I going to do a pickup, so this is the perfect time, get all my pickups out of the way so I can kind of tidy the room. So we've got quite a mix. I've got some modern stuff like obviously Streets of Rage 4 and the Hotline Miami collection came out for the Switch, but I'm not going to bother showing that stuff. I've also got some games that I've been sent to review, and reviews will be coming soon for those, so I won't bother showing those either. Just in the interest of keeping this as quick as possible because I've got a feeling it'll be longer than I want anyway. So first things first, I suppose, show some of the tech. So I do have two SCART switches in this room, and I decided to get one of these. This is the Otaku, is it Otaku switcher, I think? I'll leave a link to this in the description if I can remember. And this takes 6 inputs and it's got 1 output, and then you've got the, you know, like the RCA, I think that's, is it RCA out maybe, or in? Oh yeah, it's got a switcher, so it does in or out. Not that I'll probably use that, but I just like this. I'm going to have 6 SCART inputs and then just switch between them. And then I'm going to have a SCART for going to the B&O and a SCART to go to the capture card to the LCD if I want to play stuff on the LCD or in the Tate mode. Doesn't have 2 SCART outputs, which is a shame because it'd be nice to be able to output to the B&O and the recording device at the same time, but you know, those are few and far between, I think. So I think I'm going to keep one of my switches that I've already got and then use this, and then one of the other ones I'll shift, which is cool. And then I got 2 EverDrives. So I've been after one of these for a while. That's the EverDrive X5 for the Game Boy Advance. Been playing tons of Game Boy Advance lately, really loving it. So that's been getting a lot of use, and that just popped up on eBay for a really good price, so I grabbed it. It did have a dead battery, so I just quickly replaced the battery when that came. And I also got the EverDrive Pro from Crix, which is the brand new EverDrive for the Mega Drive, and it comes with a box and a little wee manual there, and this is really good. I did consider doing a review of that, but as I said, just been too busy, haven't had time, but I have been using this a hell of a lot, and this does various other things. So the first of which is that it actually plays Mega CD games without the need of a Mega CD unit, and I have a Mega CD unit, but this just takes away a lot of the hassle. You can just load them up straight from here. It basically emulates the hardware, similar to the Terra Onion, how that one does. And this also, because I mean the EverDrive I did have, which I've subsequently sold, didn't have the menu option where you could go back into the menu. You had to turn the console off and on if you wanted to play another game, whereas on this one, I think you press down and start, something like that, and it takes you directly to back to the menu, and you can play another game, which is great. So yeah, this does Mega CD, it does obviously Mega Drive and Master System, but it also apparently does NES via an emulator, so if you want to play NES on your Mega Drive you can, so that's cool. Now I suppose start with this Mega Drive bundle I got from a very good friend of mine, your friend and mine, which is Lee Retro Chef. and I'll leave a link to Retro Chef's channel down in the description. And we've got a little note here with these games. To my friend Pete, the YouTube star, here is the games you've paid for. Enjoy, fella, and stay safe. Your brother in arms, Lee the Retro Chef. P.S. I put a little Brucey bonus in for you, and that'll go in my little stash of notes. Thank you, Lee. And the little Brucey he sent me was an official PlayStation 2 memory card. Lovely jubbly. Cheers for that, mate. Always good. And what I actually bought off him was for Mega Drive games, and he did me a cracking deal on these. So the first is Columns, and just a weird game in the sense that it's for some reason not in my collection. I did play Columns a hell of a lot on the Game Gear back in the day, but not really on the Mega Drive. It kind of passed me by on the Mega Drive back in the day, but happy to get that into the collection. We have Batman Returns, which I'll admit I haven't played for so long, and I've been meaning to have a play on this since Lee sent these over, because I can't really remember, because there's a few Batman games back in the day and I can't remember which one this is. I mean, it is obviously some kind of platform game, but I know some of them are kind of hit and miss and some of them are decent. Another classic, Super WrestleMania, and just look at that cover. You've got Ultimate Warrior there, Macho Man, Randy Savage, Papa Shango, Hulk Hogan, and Ted DiBiase. Absolutely brilliant. From the golden era of wrestling. I used to love wrestling back in the 80s and early 90s, and yeah, these games are funny. And the pick of the bunch for me was a game that I used to own and for some reason shifted on, and when this popped up in Lee's bundle I definitely wanted this, and that is Burning Force. And Burning Force is an interesting one because it's not one that I ever heard of back in the day, but have subsequently discovered and really like it. It's very much like Space Harrier, so you are third person behind the vehicle and you're on like this hover bike. It's like a hover version of a motorbike basically, and then you're going into this 3D environment, much like Space Harrier. So it's very much like Space Harrier but on this kind of fictional hover bike. So cheers for those, Lee, and as I said, we don't discuss prices on deals with tubers, but you can rest assured that he did me an absolute great deal on those. So let's move on to some Amiga stuff, and I think we've got some big box PC stuff in there. As some of you know, just trying to collect the stuff that I had as a kid on the Amiga, and a couple of others have crept their way in, or maybe one other, which I will show you that one first. So this is a game that I never played back in the day, but have subsequently discovered, and I really like it. It's Miami Chase. Miami Chase has such a good soundtrack, especially like the main theme. I really love it. I use it on my videos quite a lot actually. It's really cool. I couldn't find a big box version. I don't know if any Amiga aficionados like Steve or Big Mike can tell me, did this come in anything other than this, you know, hard plastic case? But either way, happy to get that. And these are seemingly quite rare. I've been looking for Miami Chase for ages on eBay and none of them seem to come up, so this popped up for, it was a, you know, it was a few quid, but yeah, they seem to be few and far between. Next one is a game that I absolutely loved on the Amiga back in the day, and that is Crackdown. Now Crackdown is a Sega arcade game, and it is actually on the Mega Drive as well. I do own the Mega Drive copy, but the Amiga version is absolutely fantastic. The music's better, the graphics are better, and it just plays better, slightly less sluggish. And if you haven't played this, it's like a top-down game where you're running through levels where it's kind of maze-like. It's like, because it's top-down, the corridors are, you know, look like mazes, and you're running around and you have to shoot or beat up enemies, and the aim of the game is to defuse a certain number of bombs on a level, and then escape the level basically. Is it defuse the bombs or actually you're setting the bombs to blow up? No, yeah, it says place time bombs, so you are setting them, because I said defuse then, but then I thought when you leave the level I'm sure it all blows up, and there's like a time limit, so you have to beat the time limit before the place blows up. But it's really fun, it's really addictive. I loved it back in the day, played it to death. Now, I got this one, I think I bought a bundle to get this one game, and that game is Forgotten Worlds. And in fact, this one seems to be, I mean, it's not rare on eBay, but it's rare to get a good deal on it. So it popped up in a bundle, and I thought, well, I'll buy the bundle for this one game and I'll shift the rest on. And I actually ended up shifting the rest for more than I paid for the bundle. So I think I sold 1 or 2 games individually and then just shifted the rest in the bundle. So I actually got this for free, and that's Forgotten Worlds from Capcom, another arcade game, and I absolutely loved this on the Amiga and the Mega Drive back in the day. I own the Mega Drive version. The Amiga and Mega Drive versions are both very good. It's less of a noticeable difference than with Crackdown, but yeah, this is one of my favourite shooters back in the day. Really loved it. It's a really cool 1 or 2 player game, and you've got this weird kind of directional shooting. I'm thinking, was the arcade game maybe a twin stick shooter? Because it would certainly make sense if it was, because you have the directional shooting and then you're using you know, another stick to move. And yeah, it was, I didn't play many shooters back in the day on the Amiga, but this was certainly one of my favourites. So in that bundle, I didn't intend to keep anything, but I ended up keeping this, and it's the little cassette version of Shadow of the Beast 2, you know, like the little cassette box. And the reason I kept that was because this came with my Amiga 500 back in the day. So when my dad came home one day with an Amiga 500, it was the Screen Gems pack. So it had, because it was called Screen Gems, all the games that came with it centered around cinema or movies. So it was Days of Thunder, Nightbreed, Back to the Future 2, but then randomly Shadow of the Beast 2, which obviously isn't based on the film, but I believe that they were packing this in with the Amiga 500s because this game was like, look at this, this is what the Amiga can do. The sound and the graphics are absolutely fantastic. And when I loaded up that game when I was a kid, when we got our Amiga, and I saw the intro to this, that blew me away. When the, you know, the big beast, winged beast comes down on top of the house and there's lightning and it takes the baby and everything. You know what I mean if you've played it. But not a great game, but visually and in terms of audio, absolutely stunning. So it was just nice to have that as a little bonus because that's what I had back in the day. This one I very recently got because my old mate Sinisteve, another very good friend of mine, came to see me the other day, and he brought me this, which is very kind of him, and that is Lemmings 2 The Tribes for the Amiga, and a really nice copy. A couple of little minor issues with it, but nothing, you know, for me it's perfect, it's great. So thank you again so much for that, Steve. Excuse me. Lemmings, one of those games that, you know, I'm sure we all played to death back in the day on the Amiga. It started on the Amiga, it was programmed by, actually created by DMA Design, who went on to become Rockstar North and create Grand Theft Auto. And yeah, it's a fantastic, fantastic series that's still going strong today. Now, the last 2 big box things, they came the other day. So this one, I actually wanted to get because I did play this back in the day, but there's an interesting little tidbit about this, and it's Pipe Mania on the Amiga. Now, for anyone not watching in North America, you will know this is Pipe Dream, because for some reason it was renamed. I think I'm right in saying that it was originally Pipe Dream and it was renamed Pipe Mania, or maybe it was renamed Pipe Mania on the Amiga, or maybe it was in Europe, but whatever, this is the same game as Pipe Dream. The interesting thing about this game is that this was a Lucasfilm game, and this came out in, I want to say, like 1988 or 89. I don't know if it says on the box. No, it doesn't. So it would have been about 88, 89, this game. And Steve Purcell actually did the box art. So Steve Purcell, who did a lot of the artwork for Monkey Island, and he created the characters Sam and Max, he did the artwork for the box. But nowhere on the box does it say either Lucasfilm or Steve Purcell, which I find fascinating. Now, I know that back in the 80s that and early 90s that Lucasfilm would get different publishers for each country. So this looks like it was published by Empire, and presumably that was who published it in the UK. But it's very strange for it not to have, you know, developed by Lucasfilm on the box. But when you look at the manual here, even, it mentions absolutely nothing about Lucasfilm. All it says is artwork by Gary Winnick, who is co-creator of Maniac Mansion, Mark Ferrari, who's pixel art legend, Steve Purcell, Mike Ebert and Eric Johnston. So I mean, Gary was like head of the art department at Lucasfilm back then. Mark Ferrari, Steve Purcell and Mike Ebert all did artwork for Monkey Island. But yeah, oh no, it actually does say it. So it says in massive letters, Pipe Mania is published by Empire, and then in tiny letters it says you know, it's got a little Lucasfilm copyright, which is really interesting. So anyway, part of the reason I got that was because, yes, I played it back in the day, but it's really because it's a Lucasfilm release, and that box art's done by Steve Purcell, and you know, it's a cool thing. And it was like £6. Someone had it up for a tenner with best offer on eBay, and I chucked in £6 and they accepted, so that was a good deal. Now this next one is one that I never played back in the day, and you know, have subsequently played a bit, but I never played this all the way through, and I really want to, and that's Flight of the Amazon Queen. There was this Binary Illusions, yeah, it was interactive Binary Illusions, and it's the most Lucasfilm adventure game that wasn't made by Lucasfilm. And if you look at this game, it really resembles you know, a Lucasfilm point and click. Now this is a point and click from, I want to say, mid-90s, yeah, 95, and this is the PC CD version. Now unfortunately the corner is taped, and when I received it I said to the guy, you know, he took pictures of the box on eBay, but very conveniently didn't, you know, it was kind of like that, so he always in every picture obscured this corner. And then when I messaged him afterwards going, mate, like one of the corners is taped up, he's like, oh, I didn't see that. It's like, there's no fucking way you could look at this box and not see that immediately. It looks fucked. So I'm not happy with that, but it was like £12, which is cheap for this game. But then at the same time, now I'll be looking for like a, you know, a replacement for that, and I hate buying stopgaps. There's no point in buying a stopgap when, you know, you should just buy the one you want originally. So that might go back, I don't know, because I would like a really nice copy of that. Anyway, we got some Saturn stuff and Dreamcast, blimey. So we have Capcom versus SNK, and that is Millennium Fight 2000 Pro. So I have the other Marvel vs Capcom, the Japanese one, and I have the PAL one as well. So this is the only one I didn't have. Now this goes for about £25 on eBay, and I saw a bundle pop up, buy it now, for £45, and it was Marvel vs Capcom, Marvel vs Capcom 2, and maybe House of the Dead 2, all Japanese. And I figured, well, the Marvel vs Capcom games Japanese are worth about £25 each, and then House of the Dead's worth like a £5, so I can get that for free if I sell them on. So I bought the bundle for £45, and then I immediately sold the other 3 games in a bundle for £45 plus postage on eBay, sorry, on Facebook. So I completely broke even, so this was absolutely free, so chuffed to get that for free. Always nice to get the exclusive 2D beat 'em ups on the Dreamcast. And a couple of Saturn games. Now I think this was an eBay purchase, and that is Burning Rangers. Burning Rangers is a game that I've been meaning to properly get stuck into for a good while, but the PAL copy has gone crazy money. I should have bought one when it was reasonable, because it's only really in the last couple of years that it's shot up. The Japanese version is perfectly playable. The only hurdle is that there's like a voiceover that tells you where to go and what have you, which obviously in Japanese you can't understand, so sometimes it's a bit confusing where to go, but you can pretty much work it out. It's not essential to have the English audio. But I will say that I haven't played this much, probably played like an hour or 2 hours of this, and it hasn't quite clicked with me yet. I don't quite get the appeal of it just yet, but I'm going to give it more of a chance and see how I get on. This next Saturn game is a game that's been in my saved searches on eBay for ages, and every time it pops up for a reasonable price, I just miss it, you know. And that is game Tengoku, the game Paradise. This popped up, it was around 35-40 quid, buy it now on eBay, and I was very much happy to pay that. Now this game, if you haven't played it, is absolutely nuts. Very sort of quintessentially Japanese quirkiness. It is a vertical shooter. It's all centered around Japanese arcades and Japanese gaming culture. So there's like, you know, candy cabs flying around the screen shooting you and all sorts of game stuff, and it's just very hard to explain, but it's very unique and it's very fun. Quite difficult because I'm rubbish at shooters, but it's really fun. Right, this is probably the most modern thing I'll show you in the entire video, and that is Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS. I got that a while back and I just played it solidly for a couple of weeks every night. I was just playing it, you know, sat in bed with my 3DS. Great to get some more use out of the 3DS because it's such a great system. And this was, I think someone popped up on Facebook for a tenner. And it's a game I've been meaning to get for many years, but I always thought I'll get it when it's a tenner. And with some of these Nintendo first party games, it does take a long time for them to drop that low. So I'm in no rush, I'm very patient, but it's a very good game. Much in the same vein as the other Luigi's Mansions. It can be, some people find them a little bit repetitive, but I found it really relaxing and kind of nice to have that slow paced game where you just go around the house and investigating the house and, you know, busting ghosts and all that. Really good. Next thing I will show you is we got some Game Boy Advance games, and I did very well out of these. So firstly is a game I bought a while back. Now you might remember a few months ago I did a video on Treasure, the developer and all their games, and while I was researching that video I realised that I had not played this game, and that is Astro Boy Omega Factor. And if you haven't seen the video that I did on Treasure, this is like a side-scrolling beat 'em up which has like side-scrolling shooter sections, but it's really interesting the way you level up your character and his abilities, and the more you level up Astro Boy's abilities, the more areas it unlocks. And when you get to the end of the story, you actually have to travel back in time and revisit a lot of the levels, and you actually change the course of time and the continuity. So things change and the levels change and you unlock different areas and you kind of change the story. And it's really funny actually because the fact that Astro Boy has gone back in time, he knows what's going to happen some of the time, so that changes your interaction with certain characters. It's a really interesting idea. It's one of the best games on the Game Boy Advance. I really thoroughly recommend this. And that popped up on eBay around 30 quid, I think, or I put an offer in 30 quid, and it's really nice condition. It is in a box protector, but it's, yeah, really nice nick. Now these next three, it was rather fortuitous because I thought I really want to buy one of these games on the Game Boy Advance. I've been meaning to for a while, and a load of empty boxes popped up on Facebook. This guy on one of the groups had about 6 empty Game Boy Advance boxes and he wanted 30 quid for them, so I bought them, and then I subsequently bought the carts. And then sold off, I think I sold off 2 box games. So the bundle came also with Tekken Advance and Doom boxes, and I managed to get the carts for both very cheap, and then I sold them unboxed for quite a reasonable amount. So I got these three. So the first one is Super Mario Advance, which is Super Mario Brothers 2 and Mario Brothers. Now, I had the cart already for that loose, so I just stuck that in there, and these are all really nice condition. You can see there the box is like lovely condition. Apologies for the glare, they are all in box protectors, but they are really nice nick. Now the game that I actually really wanted the bundle for was this, Advance Wars, and this goes for around 40 quid boxed on eBay. So I think I got the cart for about a tenner, and then the other game that I'm going to show you, I got the cart for about 6 quid. So to buy the boxes was 30, then I spent 16 on the games, so that would be 46, and I must have made like 40 quid selling off the other two games, or 35 quid, so I pretty much paid like 10 quid maybe for all three of these games boxed. Considering Advance Wars goes for 40 quid, that's an absolute steal. Now Advance Wars, I do prefer the sequel, but I do like the first one, and I did want it boxed. Excuse me. And the last game in the bundle was Super Mario World 2, Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2. So it is Super Mario World from the SNES on the Game Boy Advance, and that's the cart I got for 6 quid. So I managed to get all three of those for an absolute bargain. Now, what's next? We'll do these, and then I've got a few controllers to show you, and then that'll be it. So these are made by Ben Boyd, who you may know from Galaxy Sega, the Facebook group, and he also did artwork and the guide for Pia Solar, and yeah, he does a lot of custom stuff. So he did these custom cases. So this one's called Mega CD Vault. So it is, you know, it's literally just a way of storing your copies. So I've got my Mega CD copies in there. But yeah, I mean, it looks nice on the shelf having that, and it's got the like PAL Mega CD kind of spine. And then he's done a Sega Saturn Vault as well, exactly the same kind of theme. So I've got a load of Saturn copies in there of, you know, stuff like Pooley Ruler and Hyperdual, and just stuff that I'm not going to be forking out for anytime soon. And then he threw in for free this Dreamcast white label one, which is awesome, which is empty at the moment, but I'll probably use for miscellaneous backups or Dreamcast backups or whatever. So cheers Ben for those. Next we've got a couple of the 8-bit the RetroBit Wireless controllers, and these popped up on Facebook again. Someone's selling them for a good price, and I kind of said, look, if I take both, will you do me a deal? And he did. I forget, a lot of this stuff's been months, so I forget what the deal was, but it was very good. So we've got they're the 2.4 gigahertz wireless ones. So we've got the Mega Drive 6-button pad there, which just looks awesome, doesn't it? And we've got the Sega Saturn kind of clear pad, which just is one of my favorite designs of pad of all time, this pad. So it's really nice to have the wireless version, so that's great. And then I have a couple of really awesome controllers to show you as well, which I'm absolutely overjoyed about. So first one was from my mate and yours, Jay, Cybersnake 7, and he was selling off a lot of his PC Engine stuff. And PC Engine arcade sticks and controllers and stuff can be pretty hard to come by. So I saw he was selling this, what's it called, One Professional Joystick for the PC Engine, and jumped on it, and he did me a really great price on that. Cheers again, Jay. And it is micro switched, really nice chunky buttons. It looks great, and it's a nice small size. Just love it. As you know, I love my arcade sticks, and just to have a nice one for the PC Engine. I do have the IMP. Sorry, my memory card filled up there, so I had to restart the recording. But yeah, I do have one of the IMP sticks that I got off Gross Newton for the Mega Drive and PC Engine, but it's nice to have another PC Engine stick there. Really awesome. Cheers, Jay. And the other controller I got is very special, and this is made by a guy called Victor Marland, which a lot of you will know. A lot of Vectrex fans will know him because he makes a lot of custom stuff for the Vectrex, a lot of custom controllers for the Vectrex, and a lot of the arcade sort of scene guys know Victor. And he makes these custom BBC microcontrollers, and I commissioned for him to do one, and look at that. I mean, getting any controller or joystick for the BBC Micro is tough, because I think most people just used the keyboard back in the day. When I was young, I never even saw a joystick for the BBC Micro. It was always keyboard. You controlled everything using the keyboard. So I did want a controller for the BBC Micro, and to get this you know, custom jobby is just amazing. And if you can see there, you've got the BBC logo with a little owl, and the colours are even kind of fit with the BBC Micro. It looks like it could be a legitimate, genuine product from back then. It is absolutely fantastic. Chuffed to bits with that. So that goes nicely with my BBC Micro that I got off Alex Nintendo Arcade all those years ago, whenever that was. But yeah, I think that's it for pickups, guys. I'm so sorry that that went on for too long, because I probably it feels like it's gone on for a long time. But like I said, I need to get all this stuff nicely put away, and I'm rearranging the room and everything. So let me know what you think. Go down in the description, check out all those lovely tubers who've sent me stuff or sold me stuff that I mentioned, and I will see you soon. Peace.